Let's get into it. Number 10. Wearing too much green. You're living in 14th century Europe, right? Fashion options are limited, everything itches, and laundry is more of a vague concept than a regular habit. You get your hands on a fancy green cloak, looking sharp. You strut through the village, maybe turn a few heads. But here's the catch. Green was the color associated with magic and mischief. People believed it was the color of the forest, fairies, and dark stuff. You weren't just serving looks, you were basically sending out magical vibes. Villagers see you in green, and suddenly you're not that stylish peasant anymore. You're the suspicious herb lady who talks to squirrels. Number 9. Living alone in the woods. Modern day? That's called being a peaceful introvert. Back then,
Straight up witch behavior. If you lived at the edge of town, had a little garden, maybe a goat named Gerald, congratulations, you were the town's new supernatural scapegoat. Your neighbour's cow stopped producing milk. Must be Gerald's fault. And the mayor tripped the next day? Doesn't matter that you were just trying to live your best medieval cottagecore life.
Number 8. Talking to yourself. Ever muttered something under your breath like, "Don't forget to stir the stew"? People didn't think, oh, they thought you were speaking in tongues. Especially dangerous if you had a habit of talking to inanimate objects, like the firewood or your soup spoon. You're casting spells on your cutlery. Bad news. Number 7. Owning a mirror. Today, useful for checking if your hair is a disaster. Back then, mirrors were seen as portals. Yep, not in a metaphorical look into your soul way, literally. They believed mirrors were gateways demons could crawl through. You stare into one too long, and someone might assume you're chatting with your demon pen pal, especially if you make eye contact with yourself and nod like. Number 6. Collecting rocks. Medieval people didn't know what crystals were for, but they did know one thing. If you had a bunch of shiny stones, you were clearly harvesting power from the earth. Worse, if you claimed one had healing energy. Boom. That's basically a confession. You're not a peaceful rock collector, you're an agent of dark forces hoarding magic pebbles. Number 5. Reading too much. Let's say you were literate. But now you're reading books not about saints or farming. People saw you flipping pages like you were summoning ancient secrets. And if it was written in Latin, or, God forbid, something foreign, that book might as well have been titled 1001 Evil Spells for Beginners. Reading by candlelight was even worse. That glow on your face totally looked like unholy fire to the guy peeking through your window. Number 4. Laughing at the wrong time. Weird timing was dangerous. Imagine someone mentions their horse broke a leg, and you nervously chuckle because you're awkward and don't know how to respond. Well, now you're not just socially weird, you're a cursed laugher. Even worse if your laugh was high-pitched or echo-y. That was the devil's echo, which is wild because half the town probably coughed like they were haunted, but sure, your laugh is the problem. Number 3, baking bread. That's too fluffy. This one's real. You bake bread that's too perfect, and suddenly your neighbors think you're cheating nature. Why does her loaf rise better than ours? They didn't understand yeast. They just thought your dough had a secret deal with dark forces. Light, fluffy bread. Suspicious sorcery. So next time you pull a perfect sourdough out of the oven, just be thankful you're not getting burned at the stake for it. Number 2. Being polite to animals. In medieval logic, if a crow lands near you and you say, "Hello, little guy," then that bird is clearly your familiar. And if the animal doesn't immediately run away, proof it's in on the scheme. Some folks were so suspicious, even feeding birds or petting a dog got you weird looks. Cats? But even a squirrel chilling on your windowsill could be evidence. Number 1. Having red hair. Yep, just being a ginger was enough to raise eyebrows. People thought red hair meant you were born of fire, passion, or dark powers. It didn't help that it stood out in a village full of brunettes and the occasional accidental blonde. Red was basically flashing a witch incoming sign. Add freckles and pale skin, and boom, you're the full suspicious package. So, yeah, being different in the Middle Ages was basically a crime. Whether you baked too well, talked to your goat, or just had a spicy hair color, someone was probably whispering witch behind your back. Subscribe if you want more weird, historical nonsense explained. And remember, next time your sourdough rises perfectly, maybe keep it to yourself.